Hi. Namaste, everyone. Thank you so much for coming back and joining me in tonight's yoga class. I'm really happy to be here with you again. I've been speaking to a lot of people about cabin fever, and I'm sure that you feel cabin fever in some way with not being able to go to restaurants, not being able to go to your meetings, not being able to do play dates if you have kids, having kids at home, you know, being with your family if you're not used to living and being with your family, like if you're living far away from them. You know, there's just so many different things that are going on right now that are completely different, and yoga actually talks about this. There's 8 limbs to studying yoga, and one of the limbs is pratyahara. Pratyahara means sense withdrawal, and the senses are hearing, seeing, tasting, touching, and smelling. And all of these things we're kind of like not, are the external things. And right now we're asked to go inward, you know, to stay in our houses, to not go out anywhere, to not like seek all of those external entertainments. And it can be really shocking to some people that aren't used to doing that, just like meditation is sometimes a little shocking to somebody that doesn't know how to still the mind at first. And that's why there's a couple other things that you learn before learning pratyahara, sense withdrawal. And just lightly put, those are yamas and niyamas, which are ethical guidelines on how we live. There are things that you've heard before, like nonviolence and truthfulness and not stealing. Basically, it's treating others how you want to be treated, and also treating your mind with love and kindness. That means recognizing when you're being really judgmental to yourself, but it goes a little bit further, and it's about staying in the present moment. Because when we're looking at the past, or even looking at last week, like, oh, remember when I went out last week and did this, we get stuck in that. Or if we're like, what's going to happen in the future, you know, we get fear, maybe we'll get anxiety. So we're really learning how to stay in the present moment. And so I ask you right now to give yourself permission to be right now for the next hour completely detached from whatever happened before class and also whatever is going to happen after class. So it's just living completely for now with whatever is going on outside of your room. Let it go on and just give yourself permission to feel right here, right now. The second limb to yoga is yamas, niyamas, and then we have asana, which is how we do our yoga postures, or really any form of exercise, which we'll get into that. Be mindful of your yoga practice. If you're not able to do a yoga pose and you're not feeling comfortable with it because maybe you have a knee replacement or something, don't do the yoga pose. I'll offer some modifications. You could always write to me and say, I have like a knee replacement, and then I could be aware of that and bring it up in class. Also, if you don't want to do a yoga pose, you can come into yoga pose. You can come into child's pose. So this is child's pose. Then you have pranayama. Pranayama is the way that we breathe, and it to me is the most important yoga posture or yoga thing that we'll do in today's class. So we're going to work on our Ujjayi pranayama, and a lot of people know that as an ocean breath. To do this breath, you're going to make pretend that your hands are sunglasses, and make pretend that you're fogging up the lens of the sunglass with your hand, with your balcony. So you feel the heat going on your sunglasses, and there's a constriction that's going on down here. You're going to now close your mouth and see if you can create that same kind of heating breath through the nose as if you were fogging up the lens of sunglasses with the air from your nose. Now when you inhale, this might be a little different for some people, but on your inhales, you're actually going to let your belly expand out. And what happens is your diaphragm will move down here. And then as you exhale, you're going to bring your belly muscles in, and the diaphragm will go back to place. So this is allowing a lot of fresh oxygen in, and it's helping the carbon dioxide out. So these are ways that help us for when we get into the parts of yoga that are a little bit more, complex, like the pratyahara, sense withdrawal. So we're going to work on all of these things, but the most important thing is just have fun with it today. And just allow yourself to really focus on your breath, because that's really the most important thing. When things are going crazy outside, it's always inside this temple that we need to care for. And we do that by nourishing our breath and nourishing our minds with non-judgmental thoughts. All right? So let's all bring our hands together at our heart. With your eyes closed, taking deep breaths. Now placing the right hand on your heart, bring the left hand to your belly. And just again, we're going to begin to inhale. We'll feel the belly rise up this time. And on your exhale, feel the belly fall back. Maybe the navel goes towards the spinal column. So inhale, your belly rises. Try to sit up tall here. Exhale, let the belly fall. Good. Again, inhale. And exhale. So I know last week we talked about samavritti, so that's an equal breath in and an equal breath out. Usually it's 4 counts in and then 4 counts out. So if you can't do a pose, you're going to come back to samavritti in any comfortable seat that you can find. And exhale. Beautiful. Let's take the right hands over to the left knee, left hand back by sacrum for a spinal twist. Inhale, lengthen up. Shoulders back. Send the gaze back over the left shoulder. And we'll take 5 ujjayi breaths. So again, that's an inhale and an exhale through your nose. Back to center. Take your left hand over to the right knee and the right hand back by your sacrum. Again, inhale, lengthen up. Drop the shoulders if they're hiking up towards the ears. So with this erect spine, just turn the gaze back now over the right shoulder. Again, inhale. Exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And breathe in. And breathe out. And come back to center. Beautiful. So we're going to take our hands down to the ground right beside your hips. You're going to take the left ear to the left shoulder and lift the right hands up about 2 inches off the ground. So you're going to feel a lovely stretch on the outside of the right part of the neck, right into the right shoulder here. So bring the shoulders back, the chest comes forward, and we're lengthening up from the navel here. Keeping the right hand slightly off the ground. We're just allowing gravity to work with that right shoulder. Again, 5 ujjayi breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more breath in. And breathe out. Good. Bring your chin to your chest. Drop the right hand down as the right ear makes it over to the right shoulder. We're going to lift the left hand up about 2 inches now. So same thing on this side. We're trying to get that really wonderful stretch in the neck right here. Now, if anyone has tender neck and just doesn't feel comfortable doing this pose, again, you don't have to do it if you don't want to. Just take a deep breath in, breathe into the tension. Exhale, allow that exhale to release the tightness. We're allowing gravity to work with breath, to work with prana, which is our life force. Good. Bring your chin back to your chest. Wonderful. We're going to take our legs now and switch the position. So whichever leg is on top is now on bottom. We're going to take Gomukhasana arms. So you're going to take the left elbow on the bottom, the right elbow on top. So we're doing a lot for shoulders today. We're going to take the hands and take the bind. If you can't take the bind, back of the hands. And if back of the hands touching isn't available, then take a hold of opposite shoulders, okay? We're going to, if you're in the full bind, just take the hands away from the head and lift the elbows up so that they're parallel with the shoulders, okay? And again, we're gonna resist the urge to slouch here. We wanna sit up tall, lengthening from our root, and we're gonna breathe into the belly. So inhale, the belly rises, and exhale, let your belly fall. Again, 5 more breaths. Beautiful. Take your hands out to the side. And now right elbow on bottom, left elbow on top. Take the bind, back of the hands or opposite shoulders. Lift the elbows up, take the hands away from the forehead. So we want to have spinal alignment. So the spine is straight and not slouching. Okay. 5 breaths here. Good. Bring your hands and pull them back behind you. So for this pose, you're going to interlace your fingers, point your fingers out. You're going to squeeze the shoulders back, draw in the navel, and then from the navel, extend forward and fold. Let the chin drop, looking down at the ground. Okay, inhale. Now bring the hands out, around and up over your head. Exhale to your heart. And we'll come into Baddha Konasana. So Baddha Konasana is bound ankle. It's a hip opener. Take your hands to your ankles and bring your big toes together. So some of you might be up like this, and that's okay too. With time, gravity will bring that down. So we're going to inhale, lengthen up. Maybe press the elbows into your thighs. And again, we're extending up and out from the navel. Soften the chin so that the back of the neck, there's elongation in the back of the neck all the way down to the spine. Look at your big toes here. Maybe smile a little bit. Enjoy this. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, release into it. 5 Ujjayi breaths. Maybe you can even feel like on the inhale, you're lengthening out. And as you exhale, you're folding like an ocean wave. And it sounds like your breath, your body, your breath matching in rhythm. Now walk your hands out in front of you and just take a moment to feel your hands connect to the earth. This is what's supporting us all, you know, the earth below us. It's why we're here. It's why we're grounding. It's connecting to that energy. Okay. Rising up. Bring your right heel in towards the groin. Extend your left leg out for Janu Shirsasana. We're going to make sure that the hip is in alignment with the knee, is in alignment with your ankle. You're going to turn the torso towards the left leg, keeping both sits bones down on the ground. And again, walk your hands forward. So in this pose, if you have your strap, this is what a strap looks like. So you can also, next class, you can take a towel, or you could take like your husband's tie, or whatever can work like this. And you just place it around your foot, and you can hold on to it. It helps you to just get into a deeper stretch. It's helping to stretch out your calf and your hamstring. So when I use the strap, I like to lift up my left heel just a little bit so that I can get that extra stretch in the heel. You can also do that without the strap. So if your hands are on the floor, see if you can lift up the left heel just a little bit. Just that little tweak is going to really give you a deep stretch in your calf muscle. So again, we're angling this right shoulder sort of towards the left big toe, keeping us into alignment, and we're lengthening from the navel. So by lengthening from the navel, you're resisting the urge to round the lower back, which can cause strain on the lower back eventually. All right, so about 3 more breaths here. Walk your hands back, and we're going to take that right heel into the knee. First variation. For first variation, you could stay here. Second variation is crossing the right foot over the left knee. Third variation is bringing your left heel in. I'm going to stay with the second variation. Take your right hand back behind you at your sacrum, down on the ground. So you're pushing into that right heel of the hand, and you're extending the left arm forward. Now, if your foot is on the inside, it's going to look like this. You're just going to grab hold of your knee with your left elbow. If it's crossed over, it's going to look the same exact way. Inhale, lengthen up. Keep that right sits bone down on the ground, and keep your left toes flexed up to the ceiling. Take a deep inhale, and exhale, send the gaze back over the right shoulder. So our spinal twists are so beneficial for, are good for our digestive tract, to help move out the ama, which is a Sanskrit word for toxins. It's the buildup of plaque and just stickiness in the digestive walls that are brought on by the toxins that we eat. So when we do our twists, we're encouraging them to release. So breathe deeply here and assist your body with deeper methods of detoxing. And come back to center. Good. So we're going to take that right leg out in front. And now take your left foot up, maybe cross it over, maybe take the right heel in, all right? The left hand now comes back behind you. You're pressing down into the heel of the left hand so that you're sitting upright. This is a really good way, it's like a crutch, so that your back doesn't collapse in the lower spine. Bring the right hand forward and wrap it around your knee. And this is a really good place to maybe bring your knee in a little bit closer. As you lengthen up through the spine, you can send the gaze back over the left shoulder. So keep the left big toe planted down into the ground as well, and the right toes flexed up to the ceiling. Inhale. Back to center. Take your feet, swing them to the side. So we're going to come into cat-cow. Cat-cow is a pose that you can come into at any time. It's a very gentle pose that some people will do instead of downward dog. This is child's pose also. This pose will help you if you don't want to do downward dog as well. Wrists are below, elbows are below shoulders. Separate the fingers, curl the toes under. And on your next inhale, look up, lift the tailbone. Exhale, round, look between the legs, tuck the tailbone. Flatten out the front of the feet. Inhale, look up, curl the toes. Exhale and round. So continue with your own breath. This is such a great pose to do when you're first waking up in the morning, when your back is still really tight, hasn't woken up yet. It's also a really good pose to do at the end of the day after working long hours, or just after, doing whatever you're doing during the day. It allows your back to unwind, and it works with the sympathetic nervous system to relax. Beautiful. Come back to center. We're going to walk the hands forward. One hand print, come back to child's pose. Take a couple breaths here, feeling your arms stretched out in front of you. Walk your hands to the right side. And walk your hands to the left, looking underneath the left arm. Come back to center with your hands forward. We're going to do a little vignette here. So inhale, you're going to come up to a supported up dog. Your knees are going to stay on the ground here. If you want to take it a bit more advanced, you can always lift the knees up. That's your choice. So the wrists are below the shoulders. Exhale, back to child's pose. Inhale forward to a supported up dog. Look up at the ceiling, shoulders back. Exhaling back. And do this 2 more times, releasing any tightness in the spinal column. And last one, inhale. Look up. And come to all fours again. Good. So we're going to do a pose called threading the needle. And, because that's what it looks like. You're going to take the right hand up to the ceiling, looking up at the right thumb. Bring the right arm behind the left, bringing the right shoulder down to the ground. Take your left hand out in front of you. Bring your knees together. And back, come on to all fours. Good. So now we're going to come into our lunges. Inhale, bring your hands out, around and up above your head. Exhale to your heart. Take your right foot forward. So again, we're going to keep the right knee above the right ankle. And we're going to take that left knee all the way back. Take your hands down to the ground. So this is the first variation. You can also place your hands on blocks here, and that's always a nice way to have a strong back. We want to keep the tailbone tucked under, and immediately when we feel the tailbone tucked, we're going to feel the left leg engage. If your hands are just barely reaching, you can take your hands into fists, and if you have wrists, if your wrists are tender, you can make them into fists as well. Elbow creases pointing towards each other, wrists pointing towards each other. So we're going to take our weight and place it into our right heel, and now the 4 corners of the right foot as we engage that left quad here, keeping the tailbone tucked. See if you can keep that activation within this asana through the whole time that you're doing it. So there's a pressing down of the right heel and an engaging of that left quad. Now take 5 breaths. Bring your hands back for a half split. So your right toes point up to the ceiling, your hands are on the floor. So if this is like a real hard one for you, just try to keep your left hand on the ground. Maybe just bend that right knee a bit, because if you're feeling it, you're feeling it, and it's going to take time to even come into this variation. And that's a good indicator that you might want to get blocks for your yoga practices, because they definitely will come in handy for getting into these poses more comfortably. If you don't have blocks, you can always take big books or something. Okay, folding forward, so you're extending out from the navel, folding forward. Look up, bring the right knee back. Inhale, Bali, hands out around and up above your head. Exhale, swan dive down, hands behind your back, fold forward, seal. Again, inhale, rise up, Bali, hands up. Exhale to your heart, namaste, or Anjali Mudra. Now bringing your left foot forward, you're going to keep the left ankle right below the left knee. Move the right knee back, hands on the floor, blocks or fists. Wrists underneath shoulders, your toes pointing forward. So again, we're going to now put the weight into our left heel, and we'll feel the right quad engage. So we're now active in these poses, and we're tucking the tailbone under. So this is going to be helpful for when we want to do high lunges and things where we grow up in the poses. It starts us off with a really solid foundation and a safe way to practice poses and support our lower back properly. So pressing into the left heel, the right quad engages, the tailbone tucks. 5 breaths. Move your hips back, take your hands back with them, coming into a half split, Ardha Hanumanasana. And if you know deeper poses, like full Hanumanasana, you can come into that. So wrists are below the shoulders. We're feeling the stretch in the whole back of that left leg now. It's such a great stretch. We want to pull the right hip forward just a little bit if it's coming back too much, keeping the hips neutral and squared. And we're going to lengthen again from our navel as we fold down. Good. Look up. Bring your left knee back. Inhale, hands out, around and up. Exhale to your heart. Take your right foot forward, lizard pose. Taking your hands on the inside of your right foot. The right foot is over by the outer edge of your mat now. The wrists stay below the shoulders, and you're moving that left knee back. So from here, we could stay here. If you want to come down, you can come down. You can come into any advanced variation of this pose that you might want to come into. For today, we're just going to stay with first variation by bringing the right knee into the bicep, right bicep. And again, we want to have this left hip bone pointing down to the floor. So we're not trying to have it wing out to the side. We want to encourage an internal rotation here. The hands, the 5 fingers are separated down on the ground. The shoulders are back and the elbow creases point forward so that you can bend them back if you needed to. So that prepares us for chaturanga. All right, so we're pressing down again into that right heel. We're tucking the tailbone under, so we're engaging that left quad. Take a deep inhale and exhale. Inhale Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, shoulders back, and exhale. Good. Move that right knee back and bring your left leg forward. So this feels so good after you do the other side, because you can feel the release of that blood flow from tightening and then to releasing. Bring the right knee back and then squeeze the left knee into your bicep. Same alignment. We want to take that, make sure the right hip bone points down to the ground. And we're pressing into this left heel. These are the really important cues because they really make these poses active and strengthening. So press down into that left heel, tuck the tailbone under, shoulders back, and allow the chest to shine forward here. Allow the back of the neck to be in alignment with the spinal column. So remember, press down, left heel, and engage the right quad, tuck the tailbone. Try not to put all the weight into your hands. You know, you should feel it strong from your bandhas and from your tailbone. Okay. Okay, move that right knee back. Inhale, volley, hands up to the ceiling. Exhale into your heart. Beautiful. So now we're going to take this right foot forward into a lunge. If your knees are bothering you, you could do all of these poses with the back knee up as your modification. Take your hands to your heart. Okay? So from here, if you're feeling a little bit wobbly and just by doing this, you know, this could be where you're at today, and that's okay, right? So bring this right hip slightly back again, knee above ankle. We're going to take a revolved twisted lunge. Take your left elbow out in front and wrap it around the front of the right knee. Thumbs at the heart center. One straight line from one wrist, one elbow to the other elbow. Look back behind the right shoulder. So I like to do it with my left knee back so I get that extension in the left hip crease. Again, we're going to press into the right heel. And if you're having trouble with balance, you can have your drishti, your focal point down at the ground. Otherwise, you're going to try to get the gaze up to the ceiling. Ujjayi breathing, Ujjayi pranayama. Good. Bring your hands down to the ground. Move that right knee back. Good. Now we'll take our left leg forward. So I'm just switching so that you can see me on the mat. You don't have to do that. The right knee comes back, so we have extension in that right hip. Left knee above left ankle. Hands at the heart center. We're going to twist from our navel. So everything really is lengthening from the navel, twisting from the navel. And then we're going to settle that right elbow on the outside of the left knee. Thumbs at the heart center. Look behind your left shoulder. So if this is too much, you could always just keep your hands on your knees and simply turn back. That's a great modification for this. And breathe, inhale. And exhale. Okay, bring your hands down to the ground. Move your left knee back. So you can come into child's pose now, or we're going to come into our first downward dog. So downward dog is lifting your seat up. A great way to start downward dog is to come into plank with your wrists right under the shoulders and then lift your seat up. You can pedal the knees out by bending right knee and left knee. Eventually we'll get our heels closer down to the ground, lifting the tailbone up, shake your head out. Move your chest forward towards the knees, lift the tailbone up. drop your knees down to the ground. Inhale, hands out, around and up. And exhale to your heart. Beautiful. So we're going to work on strengthening the lower back here now. So everyone come to lie down on the floor in Sphinx pose. Bring your big toes together and allow the wrists to be in front of the elbow creases. Separate the fingers and look right between your thumbs. And then lift the chin up just slightly, but you don't want to be hiking your neck back. You really want extension in the back of the neck in this pose as well. Now you're going to breathe right into the navel just so that you can feel the belly as it goes towards the mat on the inhale. And as you exhale, feel it travel back towards the spinal column. Resist the urge to slouch the shoulders up into the ears. We really want to be pressing down into the elbows here. Good. Rest your chest down on the ground. Bring your hands next to your chest and squeeze the elbows in. We're going to lift from the navel, coming into a baby cobra bhujangasana. Bring your right cheek down to the ground. Keep your hands where they are. Try to bring your big toes together. Okay, from the navel, lift up. Exhale, bring your left cheek down. From the navel, lift up. Bring the right cheek down. So we're alternating cheeks. Inhale, lift up from the navel. Exhale, left cheek. Inhale, lift. Exhale, and right cheek. Beautiful. Make a pillow with your hands and just rest the right cheek down on your hands, bringing your big toes together. Allow your heels to fall naturally out to the side. Okay, take your hands back, lift yourself up and transition into child's pose, bringing your seat back to your heels. Inhale up to all fours, curl the toes, downward dog. Look between your hands and step your feet forward to a forward bend. Take hold of the back of the ankles, bend the knees. Take your hands, slide them up the backs of the knees to the lower back, and then lift the heart up so you're protecting the lower back. Good. So we'll do a couple of sun breaths here. If you want to take a full-on vinyasa, you can do that, but we're going to just do sun breaths for today. So inhale, hands out, around and up. Look up at your thumbs. Exhale and fold forward. Fingertips in alignment with your toes. Look between your knees. If you need to bend your knees because of lower back discomfort, bend the knees. Inhale, hands out, around and up. Exhale to your heart. Take a full breath. Second one, inhale. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, hands out, around and up above your head. Exhale to your heart. One more, inhale. Exhale. Inhale, look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, hands out, around and up. Exhale to your heart. Close your eyes. Rest the right hands on your heart, your left hand on your belly, and just begin to move the hips around. Feeling the air and the space elements in the body. Releasing all that negativity, all that fear, anything that you're holding on to in life that's just, you know, you don't have answers for it. Just let it go. Let it go and let the universal consciousness bring in the answers for you. Bring your hands back to your heart. Again, inhale, hands out and up. Exhale to your heart. Step back with your right foot. We'll come into Virabhadrasana 1, which is Warrior 1. So you're going to keep your hands on your hips here so that your hips are squared forward, and bend your left knee. The left knee is above the left ankle. The right hip is angled forward. Tuck your tailbone under. So again, when you tuck the tailbone under, you feel that engaging of that right thigh, and that's what you want. Bring your hands up. If you got shoulder issues, you can take it with cactus arms. You can take it with your hands on your hips. Remember, this is your yoga practice, so make it fit you, fit your body, fit your life, fit what you need at this moment right now. Ujjayi Pranayama. Bring your hands to your heart. Step forward. Step back with your left foot for Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. Bend the right knee. Your hips are squared forward here. Okay, arm position, hands on hips, cactus arms, or straight up. Tuck your tailbone under. Feel the left quad now engage. Move the right hip back. Keep it neutral. Bring a soft smile to your lips and find your breath. Bring your hands to your heart, step forward, good. So now we're gonna take Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. Step forward with the right foot. The left foot is like a minus sign that's parallel to the back of the mat. Bend your left knee, right leg is straight. Lift up the arms. Keep your fingers together, conserving and holding in the energy here. Tuck the tailbone under and engage this back thigh. One straight line of energy from the wrist through the shoulders, shoulders back and out through the other wrist. Look right forward over your middle finger. Maybe come down a little lower. Keep your ankle below your knee. And breathe. Straighten out that left knee, parallel your feet, turn the right knee towards the right hand, bend the right knee, Warrior 2. All right, come down a little bit lower if that's available to you, tuck the tailbone. Keep the wrists in alignment, look past the right middle finger. 5 deep breaths. Parallel your feet, bring your hands to your heart. Good. Are you doing okay? Okay, take that left foot forward. We're going to come into Trikonasana, triangular pose. Bring your hands back up. Reach forward. So you're reaching forward with your left hand. And bring your left hand down on the inside of your knee. Resist the urge to ever place your hand on your knee. You don't want it to buckle. This is another good pose that if you have blocks, you can use your blocks. The right shoulder comes back and you're trying to essentially get one straight line from one wrist to the other. Bring your fingers together, look up at your thumb for your dristi, but you can also look down at the ground if you're feeling a little wobbly. Tuck the tailbone. slightly bend your left knee, rise up, warrior two. Parallel your feet, hands to your heart. Take the right toes, point them out for Trikonasana now on the right hand side. Raise the arms up. Again, we're going to reach forward with that right hand. Take the right hand down on your inner calf. Lift the left hand up. All right. So anytime you're feeling a little bit of tightness, send your breath there. Take a deeper breath. Coming back up, warrior two. Parallel your feet, hands to your heart. Let's take a wide-legged forward bend, bringing your hands down to the ground or down to blocks. Look between your legs. Inhale, look up. Exhale and fold. Heel toe your feet together into a forward bend. Bend your knees and slowly make your way down on. If you have a strap, you can take that close by. Okay. Take your knees into your belly. Gently rock right and left, massaging the lower back. And then drawing circles with the knees. And in the other direction. Keep the right knee in, extend your left leg out. Raise the right leg up for a leg stretch. Again, if you don't have a strap, just interlace the fingers either behind your calf, behind your thigh, or at your calf. Shoulders down, tuck your chin in. Press through, so both feet are flexed here. Press through your heel, the right heel, and point the right toes down to the forehead. So this pose gets a lot, you get a deeper stretch if you are to use a strap in the beginning. Keep both legs straight by trying to keep the backs of the knees straight. Shoulder blades down. And you're going to continue to press through your heel. Keep your chin tucked, and every couple of breaths, walk your hands up the straps or up your leg. You might feel a little bit of shaking if there's a lot of tightness, and that's okay. It's just part of it. You're just going to breathe into that. Know that you're safe. If your lower back is tender, you can take this pose with your left knee bent. Since a lot of you don't have a strap, I won't use a strap. Take the right leg over to the right side. So if you have a strap, place both straps into your right hand. If you don't have a strap, you can just balance your leg on your right hand with the right elbow bent and on the ground like a ledge. And you can keep the left arm open to a T shape, or you can keep the left hand on the left hip, just anchoring it down. All right, bend the right knee and cross the right knee and leg over the left leg, balancing the right foot on the left knee. Take the left hand and place it on top of your right knee. Open the right arm to a T shape and look over the right shoulder. Bring your back onto the floor. Bring the right knee in. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, forehead to knee. Bring your back down. Bend your left knee. Place the right ankle on the left knee for a figure four. Lift the left foot up. Take the right hand between the legs and interlace your fingers behind your left thigh. Flex both feet, and on your next inhale, exhale, then bring your left knee in. Use your right elbow to perhaps press open that right thigh. Feel the shoulders relax and the chin tucked. Maybe you even would like to close your eyes in this pose. And find that deep, luxurious breath. Okay, drop your left foot down to the ground. Raise your right toes up, point them, and slowly lower them down to the earth. Bring your left knee into your body and notice how that wonderful blood flow in that right hip crease. Beautiful. Okay, so from here we're going to raise that left leg up, interlace your fingers behind the left thigh or the left calf. Shoulders down, chin tucked, press through the left heel and point your toes down to the forehead. Try to keep the knees straight. I know it's a little bit hard in the beginning. Now taking the left leg, moving it open to the left side. Keep the right hand on your hip or opened up to a T shape. Keep pressing through that left heel. Okay, and flex your right foot. Keep your shoulders on the ground so the whole four corners of the back are all placed evenly on the ground. And then bend your left knee. Cross your leg over the right. Resting the left foot on the right knee. Right hand comes onto the left knee. And look over your left shoulder. Roll your back onto the floor. Bend your right knee and place the left ankle onto the right knee. Lift the right foot up and take your left hand between your legs, interlacing fingers behind the right thigh. Flex both feet. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, bring the right knee in. Rest your right foot down, raise your left leg up, point its toes, and lower it down to the ground. Extend your right leg out, stretch the hands above your head, stretching from your toes all the way to your fingertips. And then bring the soles of the feet together into Supta Baddha Konasana, resting your hands on your inner thighs. Close your eyes. Take your hands out to the side, palms up, and then take your feet out in front of you, creating a V shape with the feet. Wiggle the toes and the fingers, and then tighten the hands, make fists with the hands, and squeeze your legs, squeeze your toes, squeeze your arms, and then release it. Close your eyes. Blow up your belly like a balloon. And release. Turn the head right and then left. Back to center. Roll your shoulders under or do whatever else you need to do to feel comfortable. As you completely surrender the body and the mind into Shavasana, completely let go.